We're happy to have you here. What we're going to do is we're going to give it just another minute or two to allow some folks that are just getting logged in now, some late stragglers here to get logged in, and then we'll get started in just a couple of minutes. So sit tight, and we look forward to walking you through our follow-up schedules today. All right, hello again, everyone. Thanks again for joining. Really happy to have you here for the Club OS follow-up schedules webinar. We recently sent out an ebook that we put together, our team created over here. You'll see it in the handout section in the GoToMeeting, so you should be able to download it directly, but if not, as a follow-up piece, we'll make sure that you get this so you can actually implement some of these best practices inside of your club. But just a quick intro, my name is Marty Regan. I'm with Club OS and the head of sales. I've been here for almost a year now, working very closely with the team, and very happy to be presenting on this follow-up schedules today. Club OS is the leading sales and retention tool for gyms and studios. For those of you that don't know about us, our CRM helps thousands of clubs across the U.S. and across the world effectively sell more while doing less. And some of those learnings that we've gotten from those thousands of clients are what prompted us to put this together, this helpful piece of material that says, okay, we know we need to follow up with leads and members and prospects. How do we do it? When do we do it? Through what methods do we do it? And that's what we're going to share with you today. And this webinar is also going to be recorded. You'll get the email with the recording probably later today, if not by tomorrow. Any questions at all, please be sure to chat those in, and we'll get through those at the end. So any questions you have, you can chat those in, and I'll answer those at the end. We expect this to be 20 or 30 minutes just to run through the follow-up schedules, and then we'll open up the questions from there. So getting started here, what is lead nurturing? I mean, you've heard the term, it's kind of a buzzword. Everybody talks about lead nurturing. Basically, it's a process of taking a lead from when they were first a prospect and turning them into a member and beyond, which we'll get into, which is more the retention side of the equation, using call, text, and emails to create that consistent messaging. Why we use it is very important to understand. Using a lead nurturing schedule is not only increases revenue, it increases the retention side of the equation as well. Using a follow-up schedule is consistent. It creates consistency and a consistent brand image. It's also easy to train new staff as well as current employees. There's a lot of the gyms we work with do have some turnover, especially for the sales side of the equation, the front desk. So a system in place that allows them to get up to speed and get up to speed very, very quickly because it's consistent and because it's very easy to use is very, very important. Once it's set up because it's so consistent, this approach also allows you to hone and test your message to maximize the effectiveness. So you'll know, because you're tracking these things and the actual conversions themselves, what's working, what's not. You're going to continue to hone that message over time. So jumping in, we're going to talk first about leads, right? You have a lot of these leads coming in, and they're in various, there's different types of leads. We call them lead statuses. We've identified three main lead statuses. So basically, you have your web leads, you have your walk-ins, and you have your referrals. They're all pretty self-explanatory, but what's not self-explanatory is how you actually follow up with them and in what cadence. So you can see a web lead is the first type there. A web lead follow-up schedule can be a little more hands-on than your typical referral or walk-in. These prospects obviously haven't yet made it into your gym, so your goal is to get them in there and get them on a guest pass. As you can see in the chart, we suggest giving the lead a call within 10 minutes, less if you can. I mean, speed kills, that's a term we use around here. The faster you can get this person on the phone, the more likely you are to convert them. They just filled out the web lead form, they're right near their phone, they're available. So the quicker you can get to them, the better. and it's going to really increase the likelihood that they actually do end up coming in on that guest pass and getting a tour of the club. We use phone calls and text on this one before they get an email, obviously, because we want to be a little more personal with this lead. Next, you have your walk-ins. A walk-in lead is also unique in that they're unscheduled, they're unexpected, right? They didn't come in at a scheduled time, they just walked in to your club. The most important thing here is to collect the info. You want to input this immediately into whatever your system is, your lead management system or your CRM. You want to input that immediately, and you're going to want to mark it as a walk-in so you know for later. As you can see, there's no initial contact, seeing as you wouldn't want to call them immediately after they walk out of the gym. But a follow-up email on the next day is extremely, extremely necessary here. And if they still haven't gotten a guest pass or a membership, you will want to call and text in time. And you can see across the top our recommended number of days out. Obviously, every club is going to have a little bit of a different sales process, a little different cadence. But from what we've seen, these are some best practices in terms of what's going to maximize that for you. Lastly, you have referrals. Referrals are great. They're really the name of the game. Everybody knows that. They're the warmest of the 3 lead types here. Kicking off the call with, hey, your friend Kathleen has been killing it here in the gym. She let me know you'd be interested. It's a really easy way to start up a relationship. Once you get the referral, an email that name drops their friend that referred them is also highly effective. We have a different, on our first ebook that we sent out on actual scripting. So we shared there that you can actually utilize dynamic tags for who referred who and actually personalize these emails in an automated way. But name dropping is key here. You want to make sure that that person knows that their friend is coming into the gym, who it is, and you're much, much more likely to actually convert them as a member. So 3 lead statuses there. Next, we move to the guest status. You got them from the lead stage into a guest, as a guest on an active trial. So what are the different types here? Again, 3 different types is what we've identified. There's an active guest, there's a missed guest, and there's an expired guest. You may notice that the life cycle is much, much shorter for an active guest here. Obviously, that's because they're only an active guest for as long as your guest pass is valid. Most clubs 3, 5, 7 days, something like that. But once that period is over, they will either get a membership or fall into the expired guest bucket. Once they've started their guest pass, though, it's a good idea to give them a call and check in halfway as a reminder, and then maybe one more call once the guest pass is over to see if they're ready to move forward with a membership. Obviously, you want to stay in touch with these guys as while they're on that active guest pass. Because they're going to love your gym, they want to sign up for a membership, and you want to get them involved within that period. Moving on to the missed guest, the course of action for these guys is a little different because they didn't actually sign up for a pass. They came into your gym, they had a tour, they talked to a salesperson most likely, but weren't ready to commit to a guest pass. This is a great place to continually follow up and keep your gym or club top of mind for this person. As you can see, the life cycle is a little longer, up to 3 months in this case, and is a little more phone call heavy in the beginning. This technique is used to be a little more consistent in speaking directly with them about their hesitations. So phone calls work really well in the initial stages here. Lastly, you have your expired guest. This means they had a guest pass and it's no longer valid. We see a lot of really, really valuable low-hanging fruit, valuable leads sitting in this bucket. Sometimes they just need that little extra push. Maybe something came up in their life and they forgot to sign up for the membership or whatever it may be. So these can yield a lot of memberships from this status. This schedule can last up to 6 months in the hope that almost everyone in this bucket loves your gym or studio enough to buy a membership eventually. You just need to stay top of mind. So those are different guest statuses. Now we move on to member statuses, right? So they were lead, they came in on the trial, now they're a member. Congratulations, you convert them to the member. But there is a lot of follow-up that's important here as well, especially as it pertains to upsells and retention. This is probably the most unique of the statuses, seeing as they've already bought a membership. The simple idea is that following up members will increase retention, and if you have additional amenities inside the club, staying in touch with them and introducing them to those different areas, be it personal training, small group training, any other ancillary services you may have, staying in touch with these guys to upsell them into those additional amenities is key. When you follow up with a member, it's always important to ask for feedback too. So we suggest asking for feedback once a month or once every 2 months. You never know what great insight your members are going to give you. It's also a great way for them to feel heard. Never leave a phone call or email without asking for a referral as well. I mean, if people are happy, they're much more likely to refer. And as we talked about earlier, referrals being probably the most valuable lead that's out there. It's okay to ask them if they want give some of their friends names and emails at that point. Upsell opportunities are always there too. So, again, if you offer personal training, if you offer group classes, whatever those ancillary revenues are, keeping your members engaged throughout their whole life cycle will make sure they're aware of these new features and effectively allow you to upsell them. Lastly, here on the actual statuses themselves, I mean, automation is key, right? All these things sound great at a high level, but actually having them implemented and being utilized fully inside of the club does require some automation behind the scenes to help out. I mean, salespeople in the industry are all great. They want to introduce people to the great amenities inside the gym, but a lot of times things are falling through the cracks. So when you're automating these follow-ups, it's important to use a system that not only helps you schedule them, but also allows you to insert scripts so your team knows exactly what to say and when. Having a schedule ready to go with scripts makes it easier for your sales team to sell, as well as bring salespeople up to speed quickly from the point they're first hired. I mean, obviously we're biased because we sell a software system that helps you do this, but we think that using a software that actually moves your leads from bucket to bucket based off their actions is key. Having to manually pull leads out of a web lead bucket and then put them into the guest pass bucket, is far too time consuming and really makes a mess when 2 or 3 leads get forgotten, which we see happens all the time. Way too many leads fall through the cracks and you don't have a consistent automated process in place. Lastly, here we want to talk about sales incentives. Here's a funny, protein shakes are for closers. Obviously, everybody knows Glen Ross, sort of the boiler room style sales approach. Our sales incentives, our thoughts on that's a little bit different. It's a lot more lighthearted. You want to keep it fun. I mean, salespeople are inherently competitive, so why not leverage that trait? You could do things like, whoever gets the most membership gets an extra day off next month. The most number of memberships, excuse me. Maybe it's the salesperson with the highest close percentage gets the GM's parking spot for a month. The bottom line is you want to have fun with it. And you want to make it public so all the staff kind of knows about it and people can really start to get competitive and just have fun. And keeping things light like that does an amazing job of keeping salespeople motivated and happy and effectively selling more. So that's our webinar on the follow-up cadences, as well as what you should do and when. Again, we're going to be sending these out via email, so you guys will have this to actually review. If you have any questions about it at all, feel free to reach out. The contact information is here. But like I said earlier, what I'll do is I'll open it up to some questions now. Should anybody have anything, I will take a look at the chat window here and we get those answered. Looks like we got one here. I want to start a referral program. So can I have something to offer referral prospects? What are some that you've seen be successful? Yeah, referral programs are huge and very, very popular. Club OS can really help with that as well. There's a lot of other referral programs out there as well, many of which actually will integrate with our system too. But I think the main thing is you want to ask for them at the right time. So right when that person actually signs up for their membership, or right when that person checks in, someone that's checking in frequently right when they come in, you want to ask for referrals from them. You want to have an easy way to collect all of that. So having a referral form is key. Again, we do create those for our clients, and what that allows you to do is use those dynamic tags to later reference the person that did the referring. Any email that you send out, you want to include a link to refer friends as well. If you have something that can capture those, again, Club OS can help you do that. But the main point here is you want to have it available to most people, all the time. So at the end of the sales cycle, you want to ask for them. You want to have it easily accessible, and incentives work really well too. So if you want to say, okay, every 5 people that you refer, we'll give you a free month from your membership. Our system can help you track who referred who and when those become successful. So making it easy to refer friends as well as tying in some sort of incentive is key. Got another question here. You mentioned 3 ways to follow up: call, email, and text. What about events, direct mail, etc.? Where do those fit in? That's a great question. Yeah, we highly recommend tracking marketing sources. That's going to help you down the line to better hone your marketing. And our system will allow you to collect, whatever sources you want to collect. They're all customizable within our system, but if somebody came to a specific event, you might want to follow up with them with a tailored message, citing the fact that they came to that event. Anything that can help, any extra intel that you have or data that you have to be more granular when you follow up via the email marketing is key. So tracking all those things inside of your CRM will help you do all of that. Got a question here from Christine. Christine says, how do we access the automation? Christine, do you mind clarifying that question just a little bit further? I'm not exactly sure what you mean there, but I do want to get your question answered. So if you don't mind clarifying just a bit. Another question here. We are a new club that hasn't yet opened. You mentioned scripts. Is there a generic collection of scripts on the Club OS site since I'm new to it all? Yes, that's from Ann. So Ann, what I'll do is I'll take your info down and I will be sure to get that over to you. If you don't mind chatting in, actually I think we should have your email contact. So I will get that over to you right after the call. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll include that scripts ebook that I mentioned in the follow-up to everyone on the call as well. So 2 ebooks will be part of that, our first 2 ebooks that we created. Okay, well, great. It doesn't look like there's any other questions at this time. Christine, oh, there you go. You mentioned automation of the moving of leads from bucket to bucket. Is there a process to setting that up, or is it already in place? For us, if you're leveraging Club OS and you're utilizing our product, then yes, there is a, you can create those different workflows. What we'll do, Christine, is I'll take a note here to follow up with you separately, and we can talk through that. I'm just taking a note down now, but Club OS allows you to create that automation if you're using our product. Great. I think that's all the questions we have. Any last minute questions, feel free to chat them in now. But other than that, it was my pleasure today to run you through some best practices on follow-ups and when to do them and through what method. Keep an eye out for an email from us with both of those pieces of content that we talked about, both ebooks, which you'll find helpful no matter what CRM you're leveraging. And any questions at all, or if you're interested in learning more about Club OS, please reach out anytime. There's my contact info. You also will receive this in your inbox. So thank you everyone for the time today. Greatly appreciate it. Best of luck out there. And implement some of these best practices. They're going to work. We guarantee it, whether you use Club OS or not. All right, well, thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.